It's usually, like some really good income generating idea or some really good ideas that you can bring forth into the world. So when I mentioned that I think I might not have made that clear. Usually when I say that, listen to your intuition or, um, you have heightened psychic abilities or intuitive abilities coming through, it's usually the universe trying to get you to see something so that you can create something else out of it. It's not just, to figure out, oh, is my spouse cheating, even though those things are important as well. But I feel like it's something that you're meant to do. It's advice from your higher self to steer you on a life path, along a road, along like a specific place, towards a specific place that you need to be in order to do something that you're meant to do. Okay, so this is what I feel coming through. You have a divine idea given to you from the universe. I feel that it's coming to you. It has been coming for the past 3 months. And first of all, you tell yourself, no, that will never work because I'm not good enough. You tell yourself, I don't have the skills. I don't even know how to wrap my head around getting this idea off the ground. It is, I feel for a lot of you, it might be a income generating project. It might be a business. And it might be like you're starting something really big. It might be even like an idea for a story, an idea for a book, but I feel more than anything, it is an enterprise. Okay. And they're giving you a very, very vague image of what it looks like. And you have to fill in the blanks by doing a lot more research. But in the past, you kind of brushed it off. And I feel like it keeps coming, it keeps coming. And every day it gets stronger and stronger, and you see it and you still tell yourself. So I feel like 2 months ago, you tell yourself, I don't have the skills. I have all these responsibilities that I need to do. I don't have time for research. So you're making excuses. And Virgos, you have a lot of skills, but a lot of the times you might lack the self-confidence to know how valuable you are, to know how much knowledge you actually have, and to know how much, people really appreciate your skills. When you start something, it always come to fruition. And when you start something, it always bear fruit. It always like it's done well. It's done really well. So I feel like you're making excuses as to why you can't do this thing at this present time. And I feel like the messages keep coming on because it's telling you, stop making excuses. We're sending you helpers because we've been nagging you for months and you're not doing anything. So we have to send you a helper. So that's what I feel is coming through. And I feel for a lot of you, this is a business, a once in a lifetime business venture that you need to like grab hold of right now. Okay. So after that, I see, like, so you've been you've been like making excuses. So I feel like what's coming through is the idea starts to, gain more um realism. So it becomes more coherent. And then you tell yourself, no, that's too big of a risk. I can't risk my job. I can't leave this job, start this, and not and fall flat on my face. So that's what I feel is happening. A lot of you might be parents, so you might have young children, and you're just like, no, I need to be either a stay at home mom or stay at home dad, take care of my little one, so I don't have time for this. So once again, those rationales, those excuses, okay. And then a lot of you are just like, no, I'm not going to be here long enough in order to see this situation off the ground because, when you start something, it usually takes like 5 years. So you have to be there all the time. And I want to travel. I don't really want that responsibility. I'm still young. I don't want to be inundated with responsibilities right now. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. That is a valid reason. But for others of you who are like, no, this is too risky. I don't know how to do it yet. Well, if it seems risky, it means that you have to do preliminary research in order to mitigate these risks, okay? So what I feel is coming through is I see rounds of making these, rationales about why you shouldn't start something. And then I see the universe is sending you a helper. I feel a lot of you are dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. They are expert logistics people. They can sum up a problem really well and they can tell you, okay, I know what you're struggling with and I know how it can be done and I know how it can be done well. So I feel like an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and a Virgo working together where the Virgo handles, behind the scenes stuff and then the air sign thinks of the idea and tries to somehow bring it into the fold. It's a really good business combination. Okay. I also see a fire sign, a Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And interestingly enough, these two signs seem a little bit younger than you. Their energy is very vibrant. Either that or they could be, biologically older than you, but they're risk takers. They take calculated risks and they know they just have a lot more self-confidence, and I feel like that's something you might realize that you're lacking, Virgo. So don't beat yourself up over it, and you might realize that you spent the last 3 months, 3 years focusing on all the negative aspects and you never gave yourself the credit. Okay, so this series of pessimistic self-doubt, pessimistic thinking needs to be put to an end. And I feel like this, in many ways, this thing coming through now is not just about a business venture. It's about Virgos looking at your life and figuring out where you have been self-sabotaging yourself and where you have been, talking down at yourself. So this is a more of an issue about how you can rebuild your self-esteem, how you have held yourself back in the past, how you have been like self-defeating when it comes to negative thoughts, negative thinking, and pessimism. Okay, and just like being inundated by pessimism. So this is a really important lesson here about having trust in yourself, your capabilities, your assets, and trusting that the universe will give you ideas and you have to run with these ideas. Inspiration rarely come in, and when they come in and you feel like, oh my gosh, that's coming from the divine because I would never think of that. It's usually something that you're meant to do. And when it's something that is meant for you, from your higher being, it means that it's trying to get you to a different path. And the path that it's trying to get you to is the path that was laid out for you, specifically you and no one else. Okay, so I feel like that's what's coming in. And if you are thinking, if a lot of you have been thinking about a business venture and you're just like, no, that's risky, this is confirmation here. This is confirmation that you're on the right track. This is confirmation that the universe is trying to steer you where you need to be. So I feel like a lot of you, the universe is sending in helpers. Okay, so you have a fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. You have the air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And I feel them coming in, stirring things up, and trying to get this thing off the ground with you. So the fire sign might come in with the ideas. The air sign might refine these ideas and make them workable. And then you're the one that's executing because you're an earth sign. Whatever you build will sustain, will be stable. The foundation, at least, will be very stable. Make sure everyone has their own designated roles and the roles don't overlap, because I feel like everybody here has a very specific set of skills. And if you overlap or if you don't use somebody's skills properly, the project might not get off the ground. So it's a matter of tweaking a few things around and changing, the work dynamics to get everyone to get like everyone at their optimal level. So that means, the air sign should not be building the foundation. I don't feel that would go well. The fire sign should not, refine the plans. Not to, put a damper on things, but I feel like everyone is here for a reason. Somebody comes up with a plan, the next person refines it, make it workable, and then the third person builds it from the ground up or implements it in the real world. So everyone has their own skills. The roles should not overlap. Okay, so that's what I feel coming through. And if you are looking for seed funding, I do see that coming through as well. So you're getting hit with helpers left and right. I see some seed funding coming through. I do feel after August, It's telling me here, the next month, August, is the month for you, all of you, or you alone, if you're just working by yourself. The month so if you're working by yourself, the month of August, the rest of July and the month of August is for you to do the research, for you to get everything ready. And then the month of August is when you fix all the you do the preliminary run through, and then you fix all the kinks in the works, and you fix all the little problem spots. Okay, you're very good at that. And if you're working with other people, spend the rest of July and August fixing things and tying up loose ends. And I feel like everyone should have a designated role if you're working with other people. I see either one person or three people total. I don't see a partnership. I don't feel this situation is in support of partnerships for some reason. I feel like you have to work either you yourself and with like other consultants, but they're not partners, or you can work with two other people and three of you are all partners, but I don't see a dual, like two people. I don't think it's going to be favorable for two. Yeah, it's saying something here specifically about three people, you and two other people, or you alone. So, anyways, I do feel money coming through in the September timeframe. September timeframe. If you need seed funding or some, startup, like initial, overhead costs and things like that, I feel like there's a budget, some type of business proposal that needs to be written. The air sign can help you with that. And I feel like there is some money coming through in September. Okay. So that is a big message coming through for those of you looking for validation, looking for affirmation. I feel that, like, confirmation, excuse me, not affirmation. I feel like this is something that you have to do. You've been mulling it over, you've been making excuses, and now's the time for you to go ahead with it, okay? You're not alone in this. You have divine protection and guidance, and you are also you have some help, okay? I literally feel like someone is coming in, cutting you loose from your limbo and telling you, let's do this because you've been waiting long enough. Okay, let's stop making excuses. I feel like someone telling you that, and you're just like riled up, and you're just like, okay, I'm on board. So that's what's happening here. So Virgos, give yourself a lot more credit than you're doing right now. Okay. What I'm also feeling as well is I do feel. So let me just see here. I'm feeling like family enterprise. So the other two people might be family members. They might be people in the same organization, in the same institution as you. So I do sense that coming through, and I feel almost like okay. So let's just say this, Virgos, on the work front. I see. Okay, so I'm feeling like a lot of you are working with some type of a governmental institution. A lot of you are working in an environment that is very structured, that there are many rules and regulations, and the rules and regulations just there are so many of them, they don't even make sense anymore. They're meant to, standardize procedures, but they became like a hindrance over time, and you're really frustrated with the way things are run and how things are done, and you feel like everybody there lacks the mindset to, let's stop with these regulations and let's just do things the right way. And I feel like there's a lot of red tape, there's a lot of bureaucratic like BS, and you're just really frustrated. And I feel like you might have a meeting and you voice your frustration, but I feel like you're so frustrated and everything has been so pent up that you might have been a little bit too aggressive. Okay, so a lot of you might be getting in trouble, and a lot of you might be on, what are those things like disciplinary probation. I feel a lot of you might be chastised, might be pulled into, your manager or supervisor's office, and they're just like, "I agree with you, but don't say that out loud at a staff meeting," for example. So I feel like you're getting, like that slap on the wrist, but you're getting away scotch free. But I feel like what it's telling you here is that there are so many people around you that are afraid of doing things. And I feel this is the month for you to really let yourself shine, put yourself in the spotlight and say what needs to be said, because everyone around you is thinking the same thing. They just don't have the guts to do it. So I feel like this is a major, the next 2 weeks, actually, we actually have the sun coming away from Cancer. It's in the constellation of Leo, and Leo is a very bold sign. It's a very courageous, bold sign. So you might be experiencing this burst of energy where you become more courageous, where you become a little bit more impatient, and you might, say things that you have repressed. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't feel there's anything wrong with the timing, the delivery. um, I don't feel there's anything wrong with the delivery because people around you agree with you. But for out of so just for the sake of social norms, they might not say it out loud, but they feel how you're feeling. So a lot of you might have an idea and you feel like, no, this is not politically correct. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a lot of support. And then you just, shout it from the pulpit and you just say it. And then everybody's on board. So don't shy away from a good idea. You will understand the true value and how powerful an idea is, okay? This month, when the right person brings it forth. So I feel like you're like the messenger here in the grander scheme of things. I feel like you're the messenger. And it's funny because Virgos, you enjoy working behind the scenes. You don't like the spotlight. You don't want to be the messenger, but you're ruled by Mercury. It rules communication. So it's your job to be in the spotlight. It's your job to rile people up. It's your job to communicate ideas succinctly and effectively and to be very persuasive. You have the ability to be very persuasive because people, usually your coworkers and your boss, they trust you because you're very diligent with your work. And whatever you do, they never have to check for mistakes. They never have to fact check you. So already you've got a lot of credibility under your belt, but I feel like you shy away from drastic changes. And it's understandable, you're an earth sign, but I feel like you're here to deliver a very important message. And you have like shied away from it possibly your whole lives. And the time is now. So it's Virgo's time, even though we're in the constellation of Leo, which is interesting. But either way, um, on the love front, I feel it's the same manner. A lot of you might be, a lot of you, I feel like secret, harboring secret feelings. So I feel like you might like somebody for a really long time, and they would have no idea. And you just never worked up the courage to tell them. And I feel like a lot of women, Virgo and women, you're very, very shy. Men too. I feel like Virgo and men too. But with men, there are these social expectations, these stereotypes of what a man is supposed to be like. So I feel like women, you might have like a crush on somebody, you might like them a lot, and you might have followed them around, you might have like stalked them on social media, not heavily, but I see you looking at pictures, following them around and things like that, but you haven't worked up the courage to express your feelings, to show them a gesture, to say hello, to, just randomly saunter into their environment. You haven't worked up the courage to do that because innately you are afraid of rejection. We're all afraid of rejection, and that's why we're so guarded with our feelings, right? But I feel like they don't know you like them unless you tell them, because you're dealing with fire signs who are very friendly and they feel like they won't know unless you tell them. And then you're dealing with an air sign who's very emotionally just blocked, so they don't really observe their environment. They're not very in tune with, emotional energy. So the point here is, if you like somebody, tell them, because I feel like the feelings are being reciprocated. So the window of opportunity for the next 2 weeks is wide open. wide open, okay? Especially if you have something for an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. If you have something for an air sign, tell them. And I do sense like once you review your feelings, they're just going to be like, oh, I liked you the whole time. So I feel some coming together, new relationships blossoming, okay? Others of you in a relationship, like stable relationship, I feel like it's a really good time to take a trip to express how you feel, to renew the relationship. Um, Others of you who are dealing with a fire sign, let me see what's going on with the fire sign. I feel like they might not be ready for a commitment. They might like you a lot, but they might not just yet be ready for a commitment. Okay, so Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, I do feel they like you a lot. And at least, if you like them, get a conversation started, get a conversation going, because they might just tell you the truth too. I don't feel they're being dishonest. They might say that, oh, I'm actually seeing somebody else, maybe later. And, maybe later you can reconnect. But I feel like it's really important, Virgos, to put yourself out there and actually just be brave and just know that you have a lot to offer in love, in business. You're just a really, really you're very, very well rounded, and you're very reliable, and you are excellent workers. You're excellent friends. You're excellent, caretakers. I feel like Virgo people, they when they do something, they do it really well, very, very well. So you're one of those exceptionally, just gosh, you're just really, really good at what you do. So if you have an idea, don't doubt that you don't have the capabilities or the knowledge. Don't doubt that you have, that you're less than, and you, because of it, you talk yourself out of doing something that will be really good for you. Okay. So this is a really long reading. So I'm just going to end it at that. And I just want to say again, these are channel messages. I don't, so when I pull the cards out, I read the standard, Rider Waite deck when it pertains to a specific message. Otherwise, I read whatever is coming through, and you have some very, very strong channel messages, which means that the universe is trying to get you. I feel like this is career related. If you're in a job and you're really just, racking your brain, it makes you want to cry when you get out of bed, when you think about having to go to work. You're in the wrong profession. You're in the wrong field. You're at the wrong job. So the universe is bringing something else into the picture for you, possibly ways in which you can be self-employed, or the job. They're trying to give you information about the next job or the better job that you could have. Okay. And I feel like a lot of you, you're such a good worker, so that like your energy is wasted in an environment that you're not happy. So because they know you work hard, they are rewarding you with some really good insights as to where you should go for a better career, for better employment opportunities, for better income generating opportunities. So for example, if you're a really bad worker, you're not going to be getting these insights. They're rewarding you mainly because you have worked hard, and you deserve to be treated better. You deserve something better, okay? So take this idea. If it sounds a little bit too, if it sounds too vague, do some research. Just, get a keyword, go off that keyword and see where it takes you. Because I feel like there's something there for you. If it sounds like too risky, if it sounds too risky, maybe you need to, get two business partners on board, two other business partners on board. If the other two seem to be on board, then it means it's maybe not that risky. So, spread the risk around people that you trust. And if you trust them and you want to go into business with them, then obviously you trust their judgment, you trust their expertise. So I feel like that's what you need to do. Stop making these excuses, okay? Get something started, get something going, because I feel like the window of opportunity for the next 2 weeks might close up by the beginning of, I'm seeing like middle August. So you have a small time frame. Just get something started, Virgos. Don't procrastinate on it anymore, because especially at work, if you're not happy where you are, you need to make a move, okay? So I do wish you all the best.